Classification of life by Ana Mercedes, Matthew, and Fernanda. Domains. There are three types of domains: archaea, eubacteria, and eukarya. Archaea, unicellular, prokaryotic, no muscles or membrane-bound organelles, first cells to evolve in harsh environments. Eubacteria are unicellular, prokaryotic, no nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. Some may be called disease, found in habitats except harsh ones. Eukarya are most complex and have nucleus and membranes organelles, divided into Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Kingdoms. There are four types of kingdoms: fungi, Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. Fungi, absorptive heterotrophs. They get nutrients from eating other organisms, but they digest it outside of their body. Protista, single-celled or multicellular autotrophs or heterotrophs. Most are microscopic. Some are animal-like, some are plant-like. Plantae, autotrophs, have chlorophyll and go through photosynthesis for energy, have cell walls. Animalia, heterotrophs ingest food before they digest. Multicellular, no cell wall, no photosynthesis, no chlorophyll. Plant phyla, Bryophyta. They usually grow from 1 to 10 centimeters tall. They grow mostly all together in damp or shady locations, such as swamps and moors. They grow mostly all together, and some examples are mosses, liverworts, and hornworts. Plant phyla, Filichinophyta. They have shallow roots. Their leaves are fronds, and they have a primitive vascular system. They can form small trees, but it doesn't have a woody stem as normal trees. They have spores that are produced in cluster on their underside. Examples are ferns and horsetails. Plant phyla, Coniferophyta. They are cone-bearing seed plants, seeds that are not enclosed, with a vascular tissue. The trees consist of narrow leaves with a thick waxy cuticle. Examples are cedar, Douglas firs, cypress, redwood, spruce, and yews. Plant phyla, Angiospermophyta. There's a variety in this group. They come in all shapes and sizes. The stem may be woody as in a tree. Also, the flowering plants can be classified as monocotyledons or dicotyledons, which bring specific characteristics to roots and leaves. Their reproduction consists of the transfer of pollen. Examples are clover, oak trees, wheat, cabbage, and shrubs. Animal phyla, Porifera. They are multicellular organisms that have bodies which are full of pores and waterways, which allow water to flow fluently through the body. They do not consist of any nervous, digestive, or circulatory system. They are aquatic creatures. Examples are sponges. Animal phyla, Cnidaria. They have two basic body forms, which are swimming and sessile, which means to be attached to rocks. They have gelatinous, umbrella-shaped bells and have tentacles. They have a symmetry in which the mouth surrounded by tentacles. They have a orifice in which they digest and use it waste disposal. They have a nerve net. Examples are jellyfish, corals, and anemones. Animal phyla, Platyhelminths. They have three layers of tissue in their body. However, scientists have never found a cavity. It has a mouth but no anus. They can be found in water and inside animals. Examples are flatworms. Animal phyla, Annelida. They have a simple intestine with a mouth and anus, which they are all separated. They divide the body into segments in which each has a specialization. They can be found in marine environments such as freshwater. They can also be land mammals. Examples are segmented worms, leeches, and earthworms. Animal phyla, Mollusca. They are over 85,000 species. Since there are many types of these species, they have three common features: a mantle with a cavity for breathing, and the presence of a radula, and a simple nervous system. They have a mouth and an anus. They all have a clarius shell. Examples are snails, slugs, octopuses, oysters, and mussels. Animal phyla Arthropoda. It is the largest animal phylum. They have exoskeleton made of chitin from special carbohydrates. When they grow, they must shed the exoskeleton. While doing this, they are very vulnerable. They all have segmented bodies. Some examples are insects, crustaceans, spiders, and scorpions. Animal phyla chordates are animals possessing a non-chord which supports the nerve cord. They also have a hollow dorsal nerve cord. They have a bilateral symmetry and a separate mouth and anus. Some examples are mammals, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and sea squirts. Class: Birds. Birds are vertebrates with features such as wings, feathers, two legs, and they are warm-blooded. They use internal fertilization for them to reproduce. Class: Mammals. Mammals has the characteristic that is a diverse group. They are endothermic, maintaining their body temperature to the environment. Compared to amphibians and reptiles, mammals have hair, three middle ear bones, and a mammary gland in females. They all give birth and they contain four limbs. Class: Amphibians. Amphibians' characteristics are also cold-blooded. Amphibians use their skin as a secondary source, such as their respiratory system. Amphibians live in fresh aquatic systems. Amphibians use internal fertilization to reproduce. Class: Reptiles. The characteristics of reptiles are: they have a dry, scaly skin. Reptiles are cold-blooded. They are four-legged animals, and they reproduce through internal fertilization, such as birds and amphibians. Class: Fish is an animal that has their full body covered with scales. They are ectothermic. They have a swim bladder which helps them reproduce. Sharks and rays don't rely on these features. Also, it lacks limbs and digits. Specific classification for specific animals and plants. Plant: sunflower. Domain: Eukarya. Kingdom: Plantae. Phylum: Tracheophyta. Class: Magnoliospida. Order: Asteralis. Family: Asteraceae. Genus: Helianthus. And species: Anas. And for the animal dolphin: domain: Eukarya. Kingdom: Animalia. Phylum: Chordata. Class: Mammalia. Order: Cetacea. Family: Delphinidae. Genus: Tursiops. And species: Truncatus. Classification of organisms may not seem as much, but it is very important. It helps identify organisms faster, and it also helps scientists with not mixing up organisms. Organizing all the classifications of all organisms has taken a lot of time, since there's over 1 billion species of organisms in the entire world, and each one has a specific classification.